3 new LMGT3 cars, one of them for free, enhanced tire physics, new track variants and quality of life improvements. Le Mans Ultimate is becoming an ever more complete sim racing experience exactly 1 year after its early access launch. Find out why I am impressed with the February update and what's still missing in this video. Let's go. Welcome back to Overtake, I'm Michel, and over the weekend I was able to test the new Le Mans Ultimate update that will be released to all of you tomorrow, already confirmed for around 10 AM UTC on Tuesday. The Pack 4 DLC, still part of the 2024 Season Pass, standalone price €6.99, brings the Spa 24 winner chassis, the Aston Martin Vantage LMGT3, and the highly anticipated Porsche 911 GT3 R LMGT3. Yeah, the next free car is no less exciting, this year's Daytona 24 Hours class winner, the Ford Mustang in its LMGT3 version as well. Yeah, we'll talk about the new cars in a moment, but first something more important. Although this car class already feels very authentic and real GT3 drivers like James Baldwin or David Perel have attested to the high realism of their McLaren 720S or Ferrari 296 counterparts in LMU, especially in terms of the ABS cornering behavior, but developer Studio 397 has collected further feedback and now enhanced the Tyre model for the LMGT3s. Prototypes will also benefit from these updates at a later date. To remind myself of the old tires, I did a few laps at Sebring with the Corvette pre-patch, and the cold slicks in particular are very difficult to anticipate and surprise me with a sudden loss of grip. LMU is known for its merciless cold tires. This is the first thing that has been mitigated with the update. The point at which you lose grip is similar, but the limit before that, or what leads to it, is, I would say, 10% wider. And you know earlier from the car's movements and micro reactions and the force feedback that something is about to happen that will cause you to spin. You have a bit more control and you are less of a co-pilot in that sense. In both versions of the physics, the car has a good operating temperature, I would say, from lap 3 on Sebring. I've turned the ABS down a little bit then. LMU has always given me a huge difference in the feel between the mid-engine and front-engine concepts. Especially for the mid-engine car, the light front axle make precise turn-in and positioning of the car more difficult. Good trail braking technique and working with the balance of the car are very important. This was a bit wobbly and spongy at times, especially with the Corvette. The best way I can describe the update now, or the best comparison I can make, is that it feels like the resolution has been increased from like 720p to 1080p. The challenge is still the same, but the feel and confidence of when you can push is much better. Driving the new Mustang, which is feeling heavier but has an easier to understand front axle, adds to the pure enjoyment of these LMGT3s at LMU. The force feedback during braking alone is incredible. Twitches, micro bumps, and an amazingly detailed force transmitted to me by the SimMagic Alpha U in my case. To be honest, I've never experienced anything like it, and I have no idea how Studio 397 achieves it. What I can tell you is that this car is incredibly detailed and great to drive. The versions in iRacing and ACC are no comparison, not even close. I encourage you to try it tomorrow and let me know what you think down in the comments. The sound is also good, although there still seem to be a few bugs. I've experienced the engine suddenly disappearing under no load. The red line doesn't quite match the shift indicator in the HUD, but these are minor issues that can certainly be ironed out quickly. Mustang LMGT3, especially as free DLC, big thumbs up. I would also be very happy about the same, a thumbs up for our videos, of course only if you like our content. Then the subscription and hitting that bell should not be missing. Thank you. The Aston Martin is in the same vein and it sounds even better to me. This Evo facelift was first available in Rennsport, otherwise no other sim has the sporty Brit yet. Even with the standard setup, the Aston offers a very good balance and should be a good choice for LMGT3 beginners, as the front engine concept ensures a comprehensible steering behavior here as well. Even when the tires are out of the optimum temperature window or worn, the car remains forgiving in that sense. Speaking of setups, all car settings will probably have to be overhauled from tomorrow, so the Coach Dave setups available in-game will disappear for a bit, but will come back soon if I understood that correctly. With the distinctive, mechanical, rich sound of the GTE RSR in mind, I was also really looking forward to the GT3 R Porsche. In terms of sound, however, it is unfortunately a disappointment for me. It sounds like a hairdryer in the cockpit, very thin and somewhat synthetic. Of course, I understand that the engine is a bit further away from the driver than in the RSR, and it may be realistic, but I would still like it to be a bit more throaty. What do you think? The 911 reacts much faster and punishes rougher steering corrections and input. The braking behavior is also very different from the other two cars due to the rear engine concept. The fact that the cars feel so fundamentally different is one of LMU's great strengths. New track layouts. It's also great to see that we're getting all these cars in new playgrounds in familiar surroundings, and that also for free. It adds variety to the racing, and I like the Bahrain outer layout better than the standard track, to be honest. Kota won't be one of my favorites, even with the national variant, but it opens up a layout that might be better suited for pure LMGT3 racing. Fuji, Le Mans and Monza give us variants with fewer chicanes. Who would miss T1 at Monza? And a full Mulsanne straight with no chicanes? Why not? At Spa, the endurance pit layout gives us more pit boxes for even bigger races. You could already see the Sebring school layout in the footage, also cool for more compact GT3 sprint action. But that's not all. Studio 397 has also made improvements to small details, having already worked on stability and menu flow over the last few months and added features such as a save game functionality. We already talked about the cold tires, especially with the LMH and LMDH prototypes. It can sometimes be quite tricky to get them into the right temperature window. A tire warmer option is now available to help with this if needed. But remember, your brakes need some time too. Available tires per event is now a thing to make a race weekend and endurance even more realistic. The HUD gets a few improvements, so we can now see the amount of energy available for each car at the top, i.e. fuel for the LMGT3 and the mixture of fuel and battery for the prototypes. In the relative, we can now see if we're on the same lap as our opponent or if we are ahead or behind, with some color coding to it. The lap delta box has also more information, and the delta can now be reset. The racing AI has also been tweaked a bit. In my experience, the fast classes are very respectful of the slower ones, sometimes even a bit too passive. In this scene in Spa, I just wanted to close the door on the right. The AI tried to take its chance on the left, something you don't often see in other titles. You can definitely have some fun racing against the AI, but some hiccups will still break the immersion sometimes, especially in longer races. Their strategy behavior has been improved. They will no longer get new tires without needing them. The overall consistency is good, but there's still some room for improvement. There are also a few things that have been postponed, unfortunately, such as the driver swaps. This will be coming in the May update, so we have to wait a bit, as well as teams, so you can then create your own group or esports team within LMU's online system, custom liveries and a sharing feature for them. There will also be DLC number 5 with the Qatar track and the missing 2 GT3 cars, which should be the Lambo and the Lexus. I think Studio 397 is on a very good path here, even though it has taken a little longer and there are always challenges in the background. The team is delivering the best sim racing experience for me personally at the moment. The cars are just awesome and unique to drive, and studios like iRacing or Kunos for AC Evo should take note to not fall behind in terms of driving physics. Even though I don't think it's objectively true, but it just feels like the density and frequency of the physics effects are higher at LMU. After this first year, I really want to drive this title more often. What's your opinion and what are you missing? Let us know in the comments. In line with the free DLC car, I recommend you check out our review of the VPG Mustang GT3 wheel next. Thank you for watching and see you next time.